Hello and welcome to the last live session of the Do It Online course. I'm here with three of my colleagues today, and my name is Eva Hollauf. I'm a researcher at Salzburg Research, who is the coordinator of Do It. And I would like to introduce you to my colleagues today. It's Daria from the LUT University in Finland. Then we have Santi from FabLab in Barcelona, and we have Frank from WAAG, Society and Technology from Amsterdam. So thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome.
And yeah, just diving right in. This week was all about collaboration and planning your own projects, of course. And we already got some great contributions in the forum of your own Do It workshop design canvases. So we shared the workshop design canvas with you in the fourth week, and you can also find it in the Do It toolbox, of course. And just want to briefly go through the canvas with you together, because maybe some of you just hadn't had the time to look at it properly or something like that. And I think it's really a good tool to just plan your social innovation process, and you really have everything in mind if you just go through it one time. So you can see on the left side of the canvas the addressed social topic that you want to work on. Some of you also in the forum had really big topics, for example, quality of education, or also equality. So some of you also broke down the topics, which is really good, because such a big topic is really hard to work on. And you thought about that as well. And through the whole workshop design canvas, you can see every step that you need to take. For example, a preparation meeting. Do you need a preparation meeting? Yes or no? And a co-design meeting, maybe with some of your children and youth you are working with, or with other facilitators. Also, do you need a facilitator training? Or does anyone in your group and in your institution know how to conduct such a workshop? Then the activities plan to sensitize, to explore, for teamwork, reflect, scale up, and share. So you think about the tools and the activities you want to conduct and use the material from the toolbox. And you also think about possible partner organizations, institutions, and potential facilitators. So I would like to just dive in this topic, because it's about the collaboration with other organizations as well. And maybe, Santi, could you share the opinion with the audience? How do you think it's an easy way to find supporters and find collaborations with other organizations?
Yeah, good question. I have to say that maybe the most important thing is to find like a theme or a project that is interested for everybody. That's the, let's say, the most powerful reason for everybody to be engaged with the project and to find like collaborators or institutions. So in that sense, when you are planning the workshop, it's nice to start identify who could be involved and who can help it. Since the beginning, that's what I will say. At least, if you co-design as much you can with all the partners that should be involved, it's for me the easy way. Or at least when we had like more success, let's say in the projects. So when we find a common interest for everybody, that everybody like feels like that they are contributing, and it will help for a better, let's say, society and for everybody, not just for them. So then it's much more easy to find collaborations.
Okay, great. Thank you, Santi, for your input. So maybe also Daria, because we have the same structure more or less. So we are also doing research, of course. And did you have any troubles finding partners or supporters for your pilot workshops you conducted with your team?
Thank you, Eva, for the question. Yes, of course, as a university and a research organization, we don't have direct access to children who would be participating in our workshop. So that's why we are collaborating with local schools in our region. Specifically, we've been so lucky that we have one school who is specializing in English language teaching. So it was even easier for us to use do-it tools and workshops without necessary translation. In addition to the schools collaboration, we also, as we in the earlier stage of our pilots and workshops, we didn't consider ourselves as a real specialist in the education of younger children, because we work with students of 20 plus years and older. And so we invited experts for artificial intelligence and coding, and also for design thinking and entrepreneurship and social innovation. And we were collaborating with experts who were actually showing us and teaching us how to do the workshop. Involvement of the regional authorities also was helpful, because they were supporting us on some stages of the project. And of course, communicating with parents through the online system and at schools was also very important, because they were aware of what we were doing with children, and they had the program, and they gave some feedback as well. So that's it. I think it was very important to have a good collaboration with stakeholders, and the most important it was also that we had entrepreneurs on the final presentation for the students' projects, and we invited also parents and teachers, and yes, and we had a big audience and support, and they were giving comments for the children's work. So that was really insightful for all of the participants. Yeah, that's about our collaboration.
Yeah, thank you, Daria. Yeah, I also think it's really important to invite entrepreneurs who can also give feedback to the prototypes of the children and the work. And the public presentation really lifts the children up, so they really see that they make a change, they make a difference with their prototype. So that's a really important aspect to mention. Yeah, thank you very much. And maybe Frank, you as a maker educator at WAAG, you also have a collaboration with a local institution, right?
Yes, so we have been running maker education workshop for children in our own building for many years. And 4 years ago, we started to collaborate with the Public Library of Amsterdam to start makerspaces in the library neighborhoods of Amsterdam. So now we're this year. We're opening up the last 2, and then in total we have 10 makerspaces throughout Amsterdam. So the main collaboration partner is the library, but of course also in the local neighborhoods we try to find partners to work together with, and it can be local cultural institutions like musea or local makers. Also to give them access to the makerspace to run their own workshops for children. So together with all the maker and cultural institutions in Amsterdam, we can now use those makerspaces as an infrastructure. So that's how we started to collaborate. And we also collaborate with many schools. So sometimes schools come by during school hours to follow a workshop in the makerspace, and after school there are programs for children from the neighborhoods.
That's great, thank you, Frank. I think it's really nice to see how Do you go from a pop-up makerspace, for example, to a real collaboration with institutions and with local makers and small cultural institutions? And do you also have, or any of you, do you have a collaboration with a school? So did you set up a makerspace in a school, like we had the example of Christina in week 4 of the course?
Yeah. Yes, we set up 2 FabLabs in school, and more than the FabLab, we basically set up and trained the teachers and the community around, and this it helps us to develop like a good relationship with the school. So normally it happens like more like organically from our point of view. So you start with let's say probably an activity, and then you maybe there's a possibility to do an after school program, and then probably you have like a project that let's say it's embedded in the curriculum, and this is how you start like collaboration, at least with the schools that we usually collaborate in FabLab Barcelona. And then if all of these things are, let's say, success, so we have the opportunity, or we had the opportunity to set up like a makerspace there, or a pop-up lab, or it depends of how big is the school and the resources that they have it. We went to kind of like mobile FabLab, or a proper space where they can do a lot of STEAM activities.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Santi. Maybe before, Frank or Daria want to say something. We take a look at our Q&A. Mm-hmm. So don't forget that you can ask questions, and we are happy to answer them. But right now I can't see anything, so that's okay. I will give you just a minute. No. So, but maybe Frank, do you had the opportunity to set up also a permanent makerspace in a school?
Yes, so we've done that a couple of times, also for schools in Amsterdam. Actually, the easy part is setting up the machines, and then the most challenging is how to integrate it with the rest of the curriculum on the school. So you, actually, together with the teachers, we decided what they wanted to do in the makerspace. So they sometimes it's more focused on the technical side, but there are also schools which use them for all types of subjects in the school. So then, for example, for history, they can come to the makerspace to make a prototype of something they developed in a history lesson. We also work together with the school that uses this to train language skills, because when you start making, you actually have to collaborate a lot, and you have to ask a lot of questions and be really precise in what you ask for. So also for the not technical skills, it's very useful to have a makerspace in the school.
Yeah, well, I would say that the most difficult part is to change the mindset, isn't it? Of the teachers and the, let's say, school ecosystem.
Yeah. So it's different than just teaching a class where the teacher stands in front of the classroom and gives a lesson. We sometimes also say before a teacher can actually run a makerspace, he has to be a student himself. So he has to take his teacher hat off and put on the student hat, and to start learning again.
Did you, Frank? Did you work with, because now it makes me think that the same that you set up like a lot of public, or almost 10 public space, makerspace in a public library, do they like the schools around this public makerspace, are they using them?
Yes, but they're using them. What we tried first was to train the teachers from the schools so they could use it. Sometimes schools share a gymnastics room, and so they could share the makerspace. But it was really difficult for the teachers to find the time because we have a huge shortage of teachers at the moment. So what we're now actually going to do from next year on is that the students come for a half a day. They don't go to the school, but they go to the makerspace. So the teachers have time to focus on the other stuff on the school, and the makerspace educators, they do part of the curriculum of the school actually. So it's the other way around than how we thought it would be. But
yeah, we here in Barcelona we have not 10, but there's also this idea of the network of the FabLabs, also public FabLabs. Are not attached to the public libraries, but anyway, they are set up as a public makerspace where everybody can use it, and they have similar problems. So schools they wanted to use it, but they don't know how to use it, or let's say not how, but I mean which kind of projects they can do it to basically. More than just discover like digital fabrication tools or makerspace tools, more like how can they use all of that technology to basically learn and do projects that solve like real problems, let's say. So yeah, for now what they usually do, it's they visit the space, they do a kind of like a small activity or something like this. But integrated in the curriculum is the next step for that space, and we are dealing with that.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of time for teachers to sort of for them to get ownership of it, so they can make their own lessons and their own curriculum.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's also just important to start and to keep it simple, and that's also why I think the workshop Design Canvas is a really good start because it doesn't have to be very complicated. You don't have to use the 3D printer and the laser cutter. You can also start with some low-tech tools and follow the same principles. And maybe what's also nice to mention is that next year we will use the Future Monster Lab workshops in the library makerspaces. So schools can now sign up, and that is the workshop that's been developed by our partner, the Do It partner Medialab Fade in Berlin. And from next year on, we will run the program in Amsterdam. So that's
yeah, that's really nice to hear, Frank. We didn't know that yet.
Last week it's decided. Yeah. So it's yeah.
So it's really nice to see that also we as partners learn from each other. So that's really a good thing. It's really the core of Do It, learn from each other. And as you mentioned before, Frank, I think it's really important to mention that you don't have to be really technical-affine yet. Every teacher can use a workshop, a Do It workshop design and do it. It doesn't matter if you're doing history or languages. I think it's really important to mention, yeah. And the Do It workshop design canvas, of course, helps a lot. So thank you for your input. And maybe we can just check for questions again. None there. That's a good sign, I hope. So maybe do you have something to add to week 4? Otherwise, I would keep this session really short today. I think everything's fine. Okay, so then I want to thank everyone who is watching and also every single one of the participants of the MOOC. So thank you for all the contributions in the forums, for exchanging the experiences with other learners and also sharing your experiences with us. We as a team, as a project team, also learn a lot from them. And yeah, so enjoy the last 2 days of the Do It MOOC. It will be available later on as a self-learning course. So there will be no moderated forum. But of course, if you want to know something, if you have questions, if you want to collaborate with one of our partners, just visit the Do It homepage and yeah, get in touch with us. And I want to thank my colleagues today for joining, and have a nice evening and see you soon. Thank you.